Another is the dropping of leaflets to warn civilians of the military vulnerability of their area or of impending airstrikes. And still another is the use of broadcasts to warn villagers of ground operations. All such warnings, of course, must always be made with due regard given to the security and success of the mission.
Và đừng đi ra khỏi nhà mình vì sẽ tai hại, rất tai hại đến cho mình. Và trong lúc chờ đợi, xin đồng bào cứ ở yên trong nhà và sẽ có những thông cáo cho đồng bào. Xin đồng bào hãy tuân theo những thông cáo của.
The villages have to be entered. They have to be searched and made safe. This remains an inescapable duty of war. But with careful plans made and executed, with every precaution taken that can be within the bounds of safety, and with every man aware of his own increased responsibility, it can be done with the least possible damage and danger. Operations planned in coordination with the country's province or district chiefs help smooth the path the rest of the way. For they can explain better than anyone else, at least in the beginning, that the Americans are here as friends.
Quân đội Mỹ đến đây để giúp đỡ cho đồng bào. Vậy đồng bào phải ráng cố gắng để mà tỏ làm sao để xứng đáng với cái việc và người Mỹ đến giúp đỡ mình để mà chiến đấu chống cộng sản.
That's how we come to the villages of Vietnam, how we must come if we're going to win this war. Friendship is one of the most basic gifts a man can offer. It is built on the desire really to know people. Look around you and look deeply to understand what Vietnam and its people are like. Vietnam is an old country, with a recorded history that goes back more than 2,000 years. Its traditions and its customs are ancient and deeply cherished. The Vietnamese himself, humble peasant though he may be, is the inheritor of this old tradition, and anyone who would claim his friendship must understand that about him. He must know and respect the fact that he looks on the world in a very set way, defined and shaped by long tradition. It is a world that lies always close to the soil and the elements. His village is more than his home. It is his universe, and he seldom if ever leaves it. The values which shape his code of behavior are his most precious possessions, and they are honored ones. Dignity, self-control, respect for elders. His family is all important to him, all his family. Not only those immediately close to him, but distant relatives as well. Those living, those dead, and those in generations yet to come. Regard for the family is the center of his religion. Although many villages in Vietnam like this one are Christian, the majority are Buddhist. Whichever it is, the place of worship in the village is the focal point of community life. Knowing these things about the Vietnamese people and understanding the importance they have in their lives will help in establishing the friendship that is so crucial to our mission, since knowledge is the foundation of friendship. But beyond endeavoring to know and understand the Vietnamese, there is much more we can do.
Ready? One again, okay? One, two, three, four, ever!
The ease with which the American fighting man establishes rapport with the children in the lands through which he travels is an enduring part of his legend. There is no mystery about it, for the hungry language of childhood is universal, and men at war have known for generations that candy and chewing gum bring smiles and warm the hearts of children in any land. But there is more to this legend than candy and color. And every man knows it who has watched happiness brighten the eyes of a child as the result of his own effort. It does not always happen quickly. Even a child's friendship is sometimes slow to come. And how much more true this is of people who have known bitterly only the brutality of war and warriors, and who can escape only behind thick walls of silence and suspicion. Their friendship is not obtained easily, but with patience and effort, it can be won. A civic action plan supports every military operation. Not because we believe that friendship has a price which we can pay with giveaways and handouts, but because we thus have the opportunity to show in a definite, tangible way that our interests really lie with the people and their problems. Sometimes clothing supplied by the various aid agencies are often as important to take on combat operations as any other kind of cargo. They are not lightly given, nor are they lightly received. To people who live always on the edge of want, whose days blend into a continuing challenge to wrest enough from the earth to still their children's hunger, such gifts are deeply important. And the gesture of giving becomes deeply meaningful. To people whose lives are shadowed and haunted by disease, who must suffer pain and illness because no help for suffering is available to them, whose health and well-being are doomed to the harsh conditions of a harsh life, to such a people, the attentions of a military medical team are powerful symbols indeed of a desire for friendship. Even soap, in a community which has none, and therefore is vulnerable to the ravages that such a simple item can prevent, becomes a weapon with almost magic powers. Every military unit has the capability of helping to improve a community in some way. Simple construction materials, for instance, and a little paint, and a few hours' work can pay rich and lasting dividends. Particularly work done side by side with the people themselves, for the Vietnamese people are both proud and industrious. They welcome our assistance, and together we can accomplish much. A new community meeting center. A place for the children to go to school. a new face for the house of worship, a well, a bridge. These can work for us with wonderful effect. Helping the people to gather in their precious rice crop and protect it from the Viet Cong, as these Marines are doing, can be as important as any military engagement. For all this is evidence which will stand as lasting reminders that the Americans who came this way as allies of their government came as friends. Establishing friendships in the villages of Vietnam can also produce tangible results. Intelligence information, for instance, which could save your life. The war we wage in Vietnam today is slow and hard and grinding. From the storehouse of our nation's power, we are bringing to it the might with which we can eventually destroy the enemy's strength. From reservoirs of compassion and generosity, we bring a spirit and a demonstration of friendship, and these too become weapons, as powerful as any other in this war, which is a contest for the hearts and the minds of the people of Vietnam. They are weapons that will touch and stir the hopes of those through whose villages we travel, and when we pass on, will leave a deposit of warm feelings behind. A demonstration of the people's new appreciation for us in any one village cannot perhaps be taken too seriously. It may not mean that the village has been secured forever. The war is not that simple, but we must not falter. We must continue until the enemy is convinced his aggression will not pay. And hand in hand with the fighting in Vietnam, we must press ahead with the crucial task of helping to build a nation, all the way to the heart and soul of the smallest hamlet.